Welcome back. Now, the campaign to stop smoking in musical and movies in Nigeria has been on for some time, and this is in line with the National Tobacco Control Act 2015 and its regulations 2019. It is also part of the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control by the WHO, which Nigeria is a signatory to. Now, we have an interview now with the Director of Programs of the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa to lead us into the status of that campaign in Nigeria at the moment. All right, on this week's episode, our guest is the Programs Director, or Director of Programs, if you like, of the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, CAPPA. I'm talking about none other than Philip Jakpor, who joins us now virtually. Philip, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I know that this smoke-free Nollywood campaign has been on by the civil society groups like yours for some time now. Could you tell us the status of that campaign in Nigeria at the moment?
Oh, thank you very much, Collie. First of all, the thrust of the smoke-free Nollywood campaign is to tap into the National Tobacco Control Act 2015 and National Tobacco Control 2019, which bans tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorships. Now, before we started this campaign in the year 2020, we observed that the ban on tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorships has been very, very effective in outdoor advertising. So the billboards we had in the past promoting tobacco products is no longer there. Adverts on radio no longer there. The kind of things we used to watch on TV in the past no longer there. Adverts in newspaper no longer there. But the industry has been very, very ingenious, and now we started seeing an upsurge in smoking scenes in movies, brand placements, tobacco company colors, their products, strategically positioned in movies. And the aim is not just to place them there, but to use it to attract young people. So we see people who are supposed to be role models smoking on set. Maybe when they get annoyed, they smoke, or they want to take a particular action, they smoke. And of course, the intent is to make smoking look glamorous, make it normal. And who are those that this kind of scenes target? Is the young people. So the intent is to woo young people and get them addicted to smoking. Now, unfortunately, before now, we observed that while there's been ban on outdoor advertising, newspapers, radio, television, it is not very, very explicit when it comes to like internet adverts, promotions, or depictions in movies. And that was why we started this campaign in the year 2020. So what did we do? We have been working with the National Film and Video Censors Board, the regulator, to ensure that, this ban on what we call TAPs, tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsor, is called TAPs for short, is enforced in our movies. So that in our movies, we start seeing ratings, we start seeing health warnings, so that when you even see a smoking scene, which of course we don't want, it should be clearly stated there, for instance, on maybe in the strip, that smoking kills, smoking can cause cancer and things like that, so that it is not seen as a glamorous thing. So what have we been doing, which is your question, the status? We've been working with the National Film and Video Censors Board to ensure that, it is the regulator, to ensure that the regulation takes place and starts happening right away. But we've not restricted it to that. We're also working with practitioners, organizations like the movie producers. We've been working with Screenwriters Association, Guild of Actors, different organizations all under the Federation of Guilds to ensure that, first of all, their buy-in is secured, because you don't want to put commence enforcement, and the practitioners don't even understand the law, what it is all about. So that engagement has been happening. We've been meeting with them, we've been talking, and we started from a point where practitioners were like, what is this? To a point where they now understand what the issues are, and then they are gradually taking ownership of this initiative to ensure that our films are rid of smoking scenes that tend to portray culture which is not our own.
In other words, this aspect of stopping it in movies and even our musical videos is already embedded in the National Tobacco Control Act. Is it part of it already?
Yes, yes, it is. Now the law is a little it will take a critical eye to understand the details. But of course, tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorships is all encompassing of what, in electronic form, visuals, in audio. So this is there in the law. All we want is for enforcement to happen.
Okay, but let's look at what the problem is really with smoking. Because if you listen to some people who who have been addicted to smoking, they'll tell you that something must kill a man. So it doesn't matter whether it is smoking or something else. So in your engagements with even the movie censors board and all of that, how are they reacting to this issue? And do you see it as a fight that can be won soonest?
Oh, it's a fight that ultimately we will win. Like I mentioned, when we started engaging with the practitioners in the industry, and when I say practitioners this time around, I'm talking about Nollywood, which is in the northern part of the country, the Yoruba movie stars, and those from the eastern part of the country. When we started this campaign, for them it was a new thing. Some of them may have had some, small information or knowledge about the subject matter, but we had to dissect this whole thing of the constituents of the cigarette that you smoke, tobacco products, the effect on the smoker. And it is a product that also has effect on, those who are passive smokers, those we normally say, we call it secondhand smoke. So if you are smoking and passing by, I'm ingesting it, and I'm ingesting as much poisons as you are ingesting. And experts have told us that in every single stick of cigarette, you have about 4,000 chemicals, deadly chemicals, cancer-causing chemicals, chemicals that do injury to the system, chemicals like formaldehyde that is used to preserve dead bodies, chemicals like carbon monoxide, exhaust from vehicles, exhaust from our generators, methane, everything, toxic, and tar, including tar. And that's why you see that those who smoke, their lips and you see their teeth is always black. So you can imagine that is what you see physically. You can then imagine what it is doing inside the system. Now to the question of, something must always kill a man. Yes, so of course, something must always kill a man. But you don't want to die a painful death, a kind of death that will inflict a lot of psychological trauma on those who will take care of you before you die. And that is what a lot of people who end up with cancer or other, illnesses associated with tobacco go through. So when they finally come down with those ailments, it is people who are supposed to be busy doing other things that start taking care of them. And that can go on for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and ultimately the person may still die. So we lose man hours of labor, we lose skilled hands, people who have to spend a lot out of pocket. Government also, has to spend a lot. And this whole thing, has a multiplier effect. So it is not enough to say something must kill a man. Of course, something must kill a man. A man can sleep and die. But when a man will have to be taken to the hospital all the time, when he's dependent, you have to spend millions and millions and millions to ensure that he's alive, and ultimately he still dies, then the trauma is not associated only with the smoker, but also with his dependents. So there's what they also call third-hand smoke today. So we have the direct smoker who is ingesting poisons, the second-hand smoker who may be passing by and puffs it in, and then the cigarette stubs that you have in the environment. You know, they are washed up into different places. They are swept into different places, and people who encounter them also ingest these poisons. You know, it gets into our water system. It's poison. So, at all levels, you know, tobacco is a killer, and so we must do everything to ensure that our young people see it for what it is and run away from it before they get hooked and hooked for life.
Philip, we must thank you very much for your time with us on this show today. All right, that has been
A
Philip
pleasure.
Jakpor, the Director of Programs with the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, one civil society organization that has been at the forefront of this anti-smoking campaign, if you like, or stopping smoking in all movies and Nigerian musical videos. Thank you so much, Philip, and do have a great day.
Thank you very much for having me.